going to revisit a topic that we talked about before, and that is the chess. Okay, the chess. It plays one of the crucial pieces in the overall scheme of IST and what it represents, and how to develop it, and how to um, make it a part of the overall feeling when you're training IST. So we talk a lot about in two-person drills, do not lose territory. Do not lose territory. Do not lose territory means that when an incoming force is coming in, you do not shift back. If you simply shift back, then more than likely you're going to end up on your heels and you're going to be struggling with your balance. And now you're going to resort to external balance to try to physically get back to your center. But with internal balance, you're not going to shift back. You're going to sink, expand the energy and gravity going back, and therefore maintaining your internal balance. Now, sinking the chest has that same type of instruction on how to do it. When you sink the chest, you're not simply going back and then losing territory. Yeah, because if during the drills, we're constantly reminded, if I put my hands right here and you simply go back and lose space, now you're losing your internal balance. Some people call that concaving, CONCAVING. You're not going to concave and go back. When you do that, it's like you're losing territory to try to deal with this incoming pressure, this incoming energy. What we want to do instead, and how to do it, you learn it during Jinggong, which is the stillness training. During Jinggong, you're in a very calm state. You're in CCC type of mindset. The mind is clear. You're calming the heart, which is part of the chest area. In that region, you're calming the body. So as a result, instead of having this notion, this thinking that the chest is going back, you're simply opening horizontally, vertically. So as a result, you're creating space for this energy and tension to go down. That's what you're doing. And the more you can feel that in stillness training, whether you're doing arm bridge, low cross stance, single leg stance, tree pose, among the different options of doing Jianzhuang, this chest area is constantly opening. What helps it is your breathing. Let me say that again. What helps this chest to be properly developed in the IST platform is your breathing. Your breathing becomes very natural, and then you learn to emphasize what we call stomach or dantian breathing, where when you inhale, it's through the stomach. Where you exhale, is also through the stomach. And as a result, this area becomes more soft. It becomes where energy is just going through, back and forth. It doesn't get stagnated in the shoulders. And you'll learn to feel the difference. You'll feel it in your solo training. And of course, you'll verify it in the two-person verification drills. This part plays a huge role because when we talk about Qi mean lock, Hao being serng, which is down the front, up the back. If this area has energy stagnation, if this becomes very tense, now your shoulders, your neck, both sides of the shoulder doesn't have a passageway now. It doesn't know where to go. When your arms get entangled with somebody else's arms in two-person verification drills, the energy in your arms don't know where to go now. It'll get stuck somewhere in the joints. Everything will lock up because this area is not open. So in stillness training, as you learn to cultivate what this area represents and how to do it in Jinggong, it's gonna help your shoulders. It's gonna help your arms. So when I talk a lot about 无手无脚空腰, without arms and legs and feet, without the waist, now because of this area opening up, it has a passageway, a highway, so to speak. So where energy knows where to go. In the beginning, you're going to do it with intention. You're going to use your mind to guide it as you learn to do JFM and open up all the joints and whatnot. And then later on, it'll become intuitively. It'll just know where to go. And because you're not losing territory, like I just talked about earlier, the energy knows how to go back to the center. Because as we talked about the difference of balance between internal and external, and do you remember how to say it in a nutshell, Dana? What is the difference between internal balance and external balance? Geidakma? You can take out all your notes. Okay, I think you're still on mute. Okay. So when we talk about external balance, you're using your right and left side to find your center, almost like a seesaw, right? You too much to the right, then you go back to the left to try to find your center. But in internal balance, which is part of IST, because we learn to be song tong hong, empty, we don't depend on the right and left side to find the center. The center is our Zhongding because the energy now goes to your center. It doesn't go to the right and left side. The right and left side can still be full because we have yin and yang, okay? The energy can go to the right side as needed. It can still go to the left side as needed. That's when we're doing the form, when we're doing two-person drills, you learn to be distinguished between empty and fullness, okay? It's important to cultivate that. And you'll do that the more and more you have internal balance during stillness training. Because with internal balance and the chest is sinking, you'll know how to go to either right and left side as needed when you're doing the form and different things related to dynamic movement. Okay, so again, in summary, regarding the developing the chest in terms of how it pertains to IST, we're not losing territory by concaving and going back. We're learning to open the chest in stillness training by going horizontally and vertically. And as you get more progressive in your practice, this box becomes a circle. So this area can rotate in terms of what is your center, so you don't get caught. We're always in a circle, in a type of curve. And when this area is more empty and free, now it'll help both shoulders because they'll have a highway for energy to go to. And once that happens, you'll develop more empty around your body because the energy knows where to go right now. And more, it'll become intuitive, meaning that the energy will know where to go because all the pieces to IST will learn to fit more together. And once they fit more together, the 100+ things that Mary references becomes half, and half becomes a fourth. And pretty soon, it'll just be one. Everything will know what to do in conjunction with the other piece. That's how it works. So, and this is just one important aspect and piece of it, okay, on the chess. We'll talk about it more. We'll talk about it again in the future because as you make progress, when I talk about it again, you'll connect with it more. Okay, that's how it works. Each year, maybe not this year, but who knows? Go back in the fall. When I see Sifu Chen and he talks to me, I get more and more what he's talking about. It doesn't need to. I mean, I don't mind hearing it because I hear him talking to the other students and I just listen in. I always listen in. I'm always eavesdropping